Hi, it's Sylvie. Welcome back. I hope you're doing good. As you can probably tell from the box, today I'm doing another unboxing of some new decks. I swear I don't always have this many decks coming in, but there's just been several at once. It is what it is, but it's all very exciting. So this box is from the Boutique London. I forget exactly what they're called. I will try and remember to link them below. But they are a UK-based like indie seller. They sell a bunch of indie decks, and they just recently had their spring sale, their Ostara sale. So I got two decks that I've had my eye on for a long time that both happen to be in the sale. So let's dig in. Let me go with this one first. So this is the... I don't want to rip the stuff because I'm like that as a person, but I'm going to have to. So this is the Lifeline Tarot, the colour outside the lines version. So this is the, I have this one. I can't get my words out straight. But this is the, I think this one came first. This is the Lifelines Tarot. And this is like a mini pocket edition. And it's the Rider-Waite-Smith, but with the line art drawn as like one continuous line. And I have it in this little handkerchief thing. And then this I think came later, and this is a larger edition, and it's in colour. And it also comes with a guidebook. This is my favourite kind of box, by the way. I just think it's so... it's elegant, isn't it? Okay, so I didn't realise it was numbered editions. So I have 344 out of 444. I'm not sure what teacup reference is, but it's cute. So this edition also comes with a guidebook. This is by Thomas of Hermit's Mirror. I really like his website, blog, Instagram. He has like a bunch of courses that I've not taken, but I really like his stuff. So looks like there's some spreads in here, a little bit of like intro and background, and then also... Okay, so it looks like for the mages, there's a little bit of a description. And then I guess the oracle guidance is to use the card as like an oracle, an affirmation. So that's the mages. And then, yeah, so these are two bonus cards, the Labyrinth and the Muse. And then the minors is keywords. This is the backs. I really didn't need this deck because I have the mini one, and like how many Rider-Waite-Smith clones does somebody need? Especially somebody who thought they didn't like the Rider-Waite-Smith until literally only last year. But hey, the cardstock is a little bit slippery, but it feels really nice. So this is just the, I don't know, number card. I want to compare to the mini one just briefly. So the cardstock feels very similar. And these are the backs. Now obviously I don't have this in order, but yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to do a really brief little walkthrough because I have two decks to look through in this video. But I'm just too excited. So yeah, I really didn't need this because it's the exact same line art as the mini one that I've got. But I don't love to use a mini deck. I don't like how they shuffle. I prefer a full size one. And I just thought the colour just really adds something to the deck, and I just wanted it, and it was on sale. It had 20% off, so I purchased it. I don't have any excuse. I like collecting decks. I don't know what else to say. I think the star is so pretty. But yeah, I love how like simple this is, but also how much it adds to the cards. So one of the fun things about the way this line work has been done is it's been drawn with, I think, one single continuous line as much as possible. And so it means there's been a little left out. So like here in the Three of Wands, you haven't got the figure, you've just got his little hand, which I find, yeah, quite funny, but it's nice. It's a really nice like take on the Rider-Waite-Smith, and you can read it by like the negative space as much as what's actually there, which I think is really cool. I'm also really glad to have the guidebook. I didn't realise all of the front matter that would be in there. I didn't really look into it, to be honest. I kind of assumed it would just be... sorry, I just thought I wasn't recording. I thought it would just be like meanings. So I'm looking forward to having a good look through that later. I'm kind of a little bit surprised how much green there isn't in the pentacles. We've got the dogs, which is the important thing, in my opinion, in the Ten of Pentacles. If you watched my... I don't know when these are all going up, but if you watched my daily journal practice, you'll know the King of Pentacles has been stalking me, so this is him from this deck. God, this is a bit of a slippery cardstock. You can see everything's kind of collapsing. Like, I really like the simplicity of this particular Two of Cups and the Three. And like the fact that it's his like upper half and like his head that's missing. I don't know, I feel like that speaks to like the mind versus the emotions, maybe. I don't know. Is there red in the original Rider-Waite-Smith? Or is that the choice that was made for this card? Because if so, that's interesting. I like it. Okay, and then these are the two additional cards that come with this deck. You've got the Labyrinth and the Muse. I think it's the Muse. That's the Muse, right? Focus. Anyway, so that is... that is my first new deck. And then this is my second new deck. This is another, it's not a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but it's another Rider-Waite-Smith. How do I get into this? I really wanted to open this one like delicately, but it wasn't having it. So this is the Fyodor Pavlov tarot. I didn't realize the box for this was so big. So I was really surprised it came into the sale quite like late in the day. Not that I'm complaining, but I was surprised to see it because it's a fairly new release. And I've been really wanting this. I think it's so, so beautiful, but it's this is mass market. It's by US Games, but it's expensive. It retails for, I think, about 45 quid, which is expensive for mass market. And like getting US Games decks in the UK is always really tricky because they don't sell directly here, I don't think. But then she had it in the sale, so I don't remember how much I paid for it, but much less than I was expecting this deck to ever be available for. So I didn't think too hard before I got this. Oh, it's big. Okay. So the book that comes with it is a nice little hardback that I think actually might lay flat. No. Okay, never mind. That is my pet peeve about guidebooks. I kind of don't care what format they come in, but if it's like a tiny little book that you have to like really hold down, that I find very frustrating. But anyway, let's have a quick flick through. I feel like a lot of people have done flip throughs of this deck recently, so I will keep it quick. So this deck is deliberately queer, as well as many other things, I'm sure, but that is kind of the thing I know about it. So he's making a point about gender and the binary in the tarot. Okay, and we've got the majors. So kind of a couple pages for each. And then into the minors, the same sort of thing, a couple pages for each, as well as full color illustrations, which is always nice. So, and then I think that's about it. Okay, now we do get a couple spreads. Celtic Cross, a relationship spread, identity possibilities about the artist. Okay. It's a very nice little guidebook. And then the deck itself. I don't know if I will use this box just because it's kind of big, but anyway. Look at those edges. Okay, I've got to try. Don't you hate when you get a deck and the actual cards are shrink wrapped? Because I'm like, how do I get in without like scratching the gilding or scratching the backs? Anyway. I made a very delicate slice with some scissors. Okay. Look how shiny those are. Isn't that just gorgeous? The reflection is definitely going to mess up my like white balance and what have you, but the backs are gilded too. I think that's partly why this deck is so expensive. Like the guidebook is hardback, it feels very luxe. The box feels quite luxe. The cards feel quite luxe. This feels like very nice cardstock. Oh, they're sticking together though. That stresses me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to rip my new cards. Okay, we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna again flip through fairly quickly because we don't want to be here all day. Oh, these are sticking together and I find that really stressful. I love the like use of color in this deck and how it's been very like minimally applied and therefore quite deliberately applied. The Emperor is one of my faves in the majors, so I like this Emperor. Is that a hand fasting? I like this, Lovers. I think this strength card is one of the ones that made me decide that like I really did want this deck. I just think it's so beautiful. I love that she's armored, because I think often in the strength card you have a woman typically who is supposed to be like taming the beast with her calm and her gentle soul, whereas here she's like, no, she's armored, like she's ready to go. And I think this shade of like pinky purple is stunning. I feel like I'm getting like Little Bo Peep vibes from the lantern and the cloak, but that's probably not the point. Wheel of Fortune. This looks like a very Grecian justice. And also a less peaceful hanged man than I'm used to. I really like this tower, like the energy of the waves at the base. I said this was going to be a quick flip through, but that was clearly a lie. The moon is so pretty. I am having to be quite delicate, like peeling them apart, but so far I don't think we've had any casualties. I like the faceless judgment. Oh, this reminds me of... Okay, this is like a really niche association to make, but like the faceless hooded figure reminds me of the auditors in Terry Pratchett's Hogfather and possibly some of his other books, I can't quite remember. Which actually I feel like is not a bad reference to make for Judgment, considering their role in the story. Okay, so the wands have this like green detailing. I'm using a different camera today and I don't know how much the focus is jumping about. I hope it's not too distracting. Okay, one thing I am noticing with these cards is like, not maybe in all of them, there's this like texture in the background. I don't know if it's if it's picking up, but there's like these lines across that look like kind of like paper that's been folded. Can you see? I don't know if that is the texture of the like background or if it's a printing issue. I'm not too upset about it. I don't dislike it necessarily, but it's not on all of them. So I suspect it maybe is a printing issue. But hey, it does look like paper that's been folded, and honestly I'm not mad about that. I quite like that as like a texture. Got a little cat. So the cups have got this blue. That's really lovely. I also like where the artwork is kind of slightly sitting outside the borders. I just think that looks very nice, aesthetically speaking. Like here, we've got like the dark water and the dark sky. This is a really nice Six of Cups. This is lovely too. I really like this page. I think the pages, like the quartz, are kind of the hardest. I almost think of the quartz as their own suit. And they're in that sense, they're the hardest suit for me to get my head around. And then of the quartz, I think the pages are the hardest for me to get my head around. Yeah, they're just the ones I struggle with most. Like whenever they pop up in a reading, I always have to think a little bit harder about what they might mean. I like this too. I know the swords are in a kind of unbalanced configuration, but I like it. So you've got red for the swords, which I think is unusual because I think red is usually associated with fire, but I think like here with the Three of Swords, it makes a lot of sense. I'm hoping that once I've gone through them like this and sort of unstuck them, that they're not going to clump up again, because I'd really... Ooh, I like this 9. I like this a lot, actually, with something actually coming into the card. Yeah, I hope they don't stick together again, and that it's just a matter of the gilding sticking them together the way they were packed up. I love this queen. Okay, so for the coins, we've got this like golden yellow colour. Oh, I really like this 3, the way they're working on the 3rd pentacle for the archway. That's just nice. Bit of a different 4 as well. I like how this 5 of pentacles, 5 of coins, is less Christian feeling, because it's not that like big church window. That's really beautiful. That's a really beautiful 9 too. Got the dog and the 10 of pentacles, 10 of coins, which is just important to me. Page. The knight. I like that she's got the bread. I don't know, that feels very Queen of Coins. And the king. Okay, so that is the Fyodor Pavlov. It's a big deck. Although, mind you, is it the same as the... No, okay. It's a bit larger than the Lifelines. And then do I have something else handy for comparison? I feel like this is a standard size deck. This is the Psychedelic Space from Tarot Collectibles. Which again... So this is a standard... Yeah, so the... Labyrinth, it's not the Labyrinth deck. It's the Colour Outside the Lines. I think it's like a standard size, and then this is a little bit larger. Just realised I didn't shuffle with this one, but I think because I already know the cardstock. But I feel like we should give them both a shuffle. This feels lovely. It's got this very smooth, like, I don't know if you can see the texture, but it's got this very fine, like, linen texture to it. And you can see it's not glossy. Like, it's not the most matte cardstock I've ever seen in my life, but it's not glossy, it's not shiny and reflective. And this is my preferred kind of, like, there's some slip to them, but they're not sliding over each other. And that linen texture feels lovely when they're shuffling. Right, I'm gonna try and riffle it. But, like, I don't wanna ruin the gilding. I don't want to ruin the gilding, but I like riffle shuffling. That works beautifully, but I don't know if the gilding is going to come off. I suspect it will, because I don't know if you can see, but they are kind of... I am getting little specks of it coming off on my hands, but the back won't, because that's very smooth. But I think the edges are not going to last long. I'll enjoy them while they last. Hierophant. I feel like we should also shuffle this one. Give her a go. This is a bit slipperier, more slippery. I don't know what the technical grammar for that should be. But it's a better size. I think although it is the same cardstock as this, the mini one, and because it's larger, it doesn't, like, there's more to hold on to, so I feel like it doesn't slip around as much. Because it's just got more weight to it, just by virtue of it being bigger. And again, it riffle shuffles beautifully. Both of these decks feel nice and springy. Like the cardstock feels like it's going to bounce back. So I think they'll hold up to riffle shuffling quite well. They're not too cardboardy. I feel like my voice is going. I've been talking for too long. Hey, the Labyrinth. Because I did pick the Labyrinth, I want to see what the guidebook has to say. Look at the big picture, take the bird's eye view to find your way out of the labyrinth and any problems you're in. And even if you can't see it, take comfort in knowing that there's a systematic way to get yourself out of any maze. Stick to that plan and you'll be set. Stray from it and you'll feel as if you're starting over from scratch, but that isn't always the worst outcome. I see the big picture and find a way around obstacles. Do you know what? I think I really like the oracle guidance and the affirmations. I think that will be like just an interesting addition to any reading with this deck. And we'll see what. So we'll just see what this has to say about a Hierophant, and then I think I'm going to wrap this video up because it's been a long one. So this definitely has his like personal kind of story about the card, I guess. So he's discussing, I'm assuming it's going to be like the whole way through, but he's discussing like his relationship with the card. So struggling with the interpretations of the Hierophant and like dogmatism, tradition, morality, which fair, same, honestly. I think that's probably true for a lot of people. So the focus for this card is on knowledge and learning. The Hierophant is made wise by the experience of his years, representative of social and academic authority, and thus can be conservative, dogmatic, and conformist. He can be interpreted as an educator, a religious figure, or a moral authority constraining the querent, but can also be a positive influence, a seeker of enlightenment, and a wise figure willing and ready to help and to teach. Okay, so it's interesting that I've chosen these both because this talks about like see the bird's eye picture, take a bird's eye view, see the big picture, figure out a way out of your maze, and then in the description for this card, I don't know why I've put it away, but he spoke about sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. That was how I saw the Hierophant then, before he worked on this deck. So I feel like those actually go quite nicely together. And I feel like the message is to sort my shit out. So I think that is that for this video. I've definitely spoken for long enough. I am very excited to have both of these decks. I've become such a Rider-Waite-Smith reader, which I really did not see coming, because for the first few years of like working with the tarot, I really had such an aversion to the Rider-Waite-Smith. But hey, things change, clearly, people change. I'm very excited to work with both of these. They're both so gorgeous, and I've been lusting after both of them for what feels like a really long time. Realistically, it's probably not that long a time, but regardless, I'm very glad to have them in my possession now. So I'm going to leave this there. Let me know if you have these decks, if you want these decks. Let me know what you think of them. Thank you very much for watching and for spending some time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.